Hello and welcome back to another episode of When Sunday Comes. Joining me are Danny and David, and also a special guest who's usually found with a card in his pocket. Yes, it's referee Richard J. So firstly, Danny and David, let's go through the big cup upset, Hendon v Fairlop. Surprised by the result, Danny?
Yes, it was an amazing result. Fairlop winning on penalties after the game finished 3-3 after extra time. Scott Shear, the Fairlop goalkeeper, was a hero, saving 2 penalties and also a brilliant save at the end of the game. And it's a great achievement for Fairlop, a new team in the league this season. Really ambitious manager in Aaron Dice. They signed Ryan Cole, the Player of the Year, and they're unbeaten in the league this year, and that's a real statement victory.
Were you surprised Hendon got knocked out so early on?
Actually, not so much. Although Fairlop are in Division 2 and they're doing very well in the division, but actually Hendon have had a lot of postponed games this year, and so I think they may be a little bit rusty. They may not be at their best at this point, and Fairlop actually were able to take advantage of that. So I'm not so surprised. And
Danny, you know a fair bit about Hendon. What can you tell us about them as a team?
Very united, very talented group of boys. Most of them have been together for a long time. They've got Dobby Feller up front, who's as quick as anyone in the league. Zach Lewis is excellent striker, scores lots of important goals. Ari Last was their top player on the day, but it couldn't quite see them over the line. Alex Rosenthal in defence, so they're a very experienced team. They've got some good youngsters coming through like Josh Harris. So I think they're going to be there or thereabouts for the league, and yesterday just wasn't their day on penalties.
Do you think Fairlop can go far in the competition?
I think Fairlop have put together, as I mentioned, a really strong squad, so they can go a long way now that they've got Hendon out of the way in the competition, and they're also favourites to win Division 2.
Next up, we'll be reviewing the game between Fairfield A and Redbridge B.
Unfortunate way to end the game, guys. Avi, what do you think of the decision to abandon the match?
Well, it seems a little bit premature. Obviously, first of all, I hope he gets better, because that's the main thing. The fact that he's ill, he's injured himself, is not a happy situation, so we hope he gets better. The decision to abandon the match. Look, Luke's a great ref, but it doesn't seem like any of our players or their players needed to go. So it seemed a little bit premature to abandon it. I understand that we still don't know when the ambulance is coming, but I don't know, you know.
And in terms of the match, you guys were 1-0 up at the time, dominating the match. How do you think your performance was?
I think we were fantastic. We really were. We put in a shift. They're not a bad team at all. They're a very good team, but I think that we really worked hard. We played some really good football from front to back. We've got a few new faces as well. They fitted in perfectly, really well.
And goal scorer, do you think it was the right decision to call the penalty?
Yeah, definitely. It was. I've seen him given and not given, but his hand was out. It was in the box, put a cross in and hit it. So I think it was a stone cold penalty. We've been putting a lot of pressure on them, and I think it was deserved.
I've seen in the past Avi normally takes the penalties. How did you decide this one?
Well, we've had about 3 different penalty takers this season, and all of them are missed. So I had nothing to lose, so I stepped up and took it, and thankfully it went in. We'll see if it ends up counting.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. Well played. Obviously, an unfortunate way to end the game. First of all, obviously, wish them all the best. What do you think of the decision to abandon the match?
Well, it's got to be the right call. I mean, as you can see, he's laying in the middle of the pitch now for the last half an hour. He can't move. Ambulance service are on their way, and I mean, you know, unfortunately, with these 3G pitches as well, we only got like allocated time, so we can't really go past the times that they booked it for. So that's basically it. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's only 1 goal in it, and you know, from our point of view, we would have thought we could have gone on and either got a draw or tried to get the win. And it's a shame, but I think in these circumstances, you know, the most important thing is the players' health and making sure that everyone's all right and they can carry on playing and we can live to play another day, really.
Do you have a message for him that you want to send?
You know, he spent 3 years just trying to get back into playing again because he'd done his knee last time, so it'll be like another 3 years out, so I might see him by the time he gets back into the Masters. But no, all seriousness, hope he's obviously, you know, everyone here wishes him well in the club, and I'm sure the both our boys are the same. They can obviously want this to happen, no one wants these sort of things to happen, but it's Sunday League and it's football.
All right.
Happen,
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Cheers. All right, nice one.
And who better to discuss it with us than Richard J. Richard, thanks for joining us. Firstly, a penalty decision in this game, so we'll get your take on it.
The referee's not going to like me for this, Sam, but I think it was a very harsh penalty. He was very close to where the incident occurred, didn't really make an attempt to deliberately handle the ball, and I felt it was a little bit harsh.
And, you know, in the moment, how hard is it to make a rash decision on a penalty?
I've been there, so I do feel for the referee in this situation. I've given penalties in the past where, in hindsight, maybe you're a little bit too quick on your whistle. So it is easily done, but I felt in that situation it was because of how near the player was to the ball that was crossed in, and he couldn't really get his hands out of the way. It was literally kicked at him, as opposed to him making an attempt to handle that ball.
And unfortunately, this game was postponed due to an injury. Danny, did you see much of the injury?
It looked to me that the player, Daniel Cooper, he went in for a 50-50 a few minutes earlier and went down holding his knee, got up, and the match appeared to be abandoned a few minutes after that. So best wishes to Daniel for a full and speedy recovery. I believe he injured the same knee a few years ago, and he's on the comeback trail. So it was great that he overcame that, and hopefully if he's done it once, he can do it again. It looked pretty serious. Player was down. He shouldn't really move someone when they're in so much kind of stress with that injury. I'm sure Richard will share those sentiments.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Player safety is paramount importance. It's not life and death. And if I don't know the situation, but if the guy couldn't move or couldn't be moved, you know, that the football comes second and the player's welfare is more important. So again, in my opinion, the referee did the right thing to abandon the game.
And prior to the injury, how was the game?
It was a fairly even game. Faithful to winning 1-0. Brilliantly taken penalty by David Louis. As we like to see penalties taken true and hard into the top corner. Brad Grant, the Redbridge keeper, had an excellent game. He guessed the right way, but the shot was too accurate and he couldn't quite get to it. There was also a couple of saves earlier in the first half that Brad made, which are very good stops.
And obviously this game will be replayed. Score prediction from yourself?
Faithfold A are really good this year. I've refereed both teams over the last month or so. Faithfold A, I have to say, I'm very impressed with so far. I think they will win their league. I've actually got them. I saw this morning. I've got them in the next round of the Cyril Annexton Cup. So I look forward to refereeing that game in a couple of weeks. But I think Faithfold A will win comfortably. Sorry, Josh.
And next up, which was a huge game in the FA Vase, it was London Lions v Clapton.
How do you think the game went?
Great start, great first 15 minutes. Disappointed with the way we played at the end of the first half, although we went in 1-0. Had a lot to talk about at half time, came out, scored straight away, which is exactly what we needed, and then gave away a sloppy goal again. Went 3-1 up. So they got one back in the end. To be fair, without them, I think there was only one team, in it, and one team who were gonna win the game today. And there's only one team whose name's going to be in the hat.
And are you looking forward to anybody in the next round?
No, I don't care actually. I mean, it's great. It's great to bring on the kids, like 3 17-year-old boys out there, and they're looking good and strong, and and making a contribution, which is great. And we got 6 more players still to come back. So it's exciting here. It's going well. I'm very, very pleased with the boys. Very, very pleased.
Thank you very much.
David, dramatic win for Lions. Expected?
I think so, yeah. London Lions played very well, especially their first goal from Adam Birchall. There's a fantastic ball in from Austin Littman. It's a Kevin De Bruyne-esque ball in through behind the defence, and a great finish there. And I think overall it's a deserved win.
Austin Littman just been compared to Kevin De Bruyne. I think he'll be happy with that one. And I have to say, shout out to Austin's grandparents who go to every match home and away, his #1 fans. Richard, what did you think of the game?
I think the reality is that London Lions are 7 games away from going to running out at Wembley, and I know people think, oh, it's a long way to go, but it is an absolute massive possibility. It's an absolute great scout for the club. I think it's the first time they've got into round 2 as a club, and the boys did fantastically well. I've done a few of their pre-season friendlies and sort of games over the last couple of seasons, and they're a great bunch of boys. Andy, Darren Yala, they've got them well trained, they've got them well drilled. They're a good footballing team. They don't give, their discipline's pretty good, and they give 100%. And actually they've got a very, very good chance in progressing further and really making a name for themselves in that competition.
And what memories do you have of the FA Vase?
Lots of memories. I actually remember doing a game in Suffolk on sort of a wet Tuesday night. It was an FA Vase replay, and the M25 was closed on the way back. And I remember getting back at 3 o'clock in the morning. So I don't actually remember the game, but I remember the travel surrounding the game, and that sort of made my mind up in terms of where is this going. So it's a great competition. There's the FA Trophy as well, the FA Cup. But in terms of what Lions have done this season so far, it's actually remarkable.
And as you said, you saw a lot of them during pre-season. Charlie Casler on the score sheet, Alan Birchill. How impressive have they been?
Look, they've held their own. They're getting results, and that's the main thing. And they're getting results because they've been working on their fitness and everything else surrounding that. So again, lots and lots of credit to the backroom staff there, and obviously for the players for keeping themselves fit and healthy.
And David, another round, do you think they can do it?
Yeah, for sure. After seeing that match, they played very well. They had a good organisation. They looked very fit. They looked like they were really competing at a level, and I think for sure they can win the next round and possibly, who knows, go to Wembley. And
how much does team cohesion come into it? I mean, you look at the performance and they really look like they've gelled as a team. These boys have been together a long time. Yeah, there seems to be a great bond between the guys. They're a happy bunch, they're a happy squad. They work hard for each other. If somebody gives the ball away, you're always going to get a couple of others chasing it down to get that ball back. And the team spirit is massively important in any team sport, and it's very, very obvious when you go and see Lions that it means the world to them, and these boys are fighting for to getting into the next round and the next round after that. Has to be what was classed as the best Jewish game ever. That was the Hendon game against Redbridge, I think a couple of seasons ago. Literally had everything. It ended up 5, it went to penalties. It was, I think, 3-3 after normal time, 4-4 after extra time. Had everything in the game, and it made YouTube, made everything else, but that was the best Jewish game I was involved in. I think when I was coming through the ranks as sort of a 17, 18-year-old, I did like a county cup game, and I had 5 red cards and about 7 or 8 yellow cards. It was a really, really tough game. I was a young kid at the time. It was very daunting, but I got through it. Getting spat at, actually in the same game.
think, I wouldn't say what goes through your mind. I think you just have to feel that, you know, is it correct in law? You know, are you 100% accurate in your decision? And if the answer is yes, you just got to go with your instincts and, you know, accept your decision. When I was on what is classed as the system, so I was on when I was going through the ranks, I managed to get the conference playoff final, only as a linesman, but you know, at that time it was a massive achievement to get. Again, as quite a young guy. I'd probably say, I booked my good friend Steve Summers, who plays for Redbridge, and at the time that wasn't particularly funny, but the papers, the JC was there, and the picture in the paper was him sort of kneeling down at me, sort of like, you know, the begging situation, and it made the press, and it was like he was begging me not to show him a yellow card, and you know, unfortunately I did. Not recently. Again, when I was a youngster, you know, I started refereeing at 14, 15, and you know, as a youngster, when you're refereeing men's football, of course, you do feel in a little bit of danger, but I had so much support around me at the time. I've never really had a situation where I was worried about my safety. You've just got to be honest. I mean, one of my, I would say, techniques is that I say to the players, I may have got it wrong, but it's an honest decision. I'm not going to get everything right. And I think sometimes if you talk to the players in that level, they know you're only human, they know you make mistakes, but it's about how you're managing the situation. And a lot of referees out there, they will, you know, tell players that they're absolutely right, they're certain they're right. That's not always the case. You sometimes have to hold your hands up and say, do you know what, I might have been too quick. But if you're honest and you talk to players in a courteous way, then you will get their respect. To be honest, most of them do. It was probably, I think the last game I did was 2 weeks ago, the Faithfold Redbridge game in the Cup, and Avi came out and actually wrote us all an email to say how well it was officiated. So Avi Markovic. Do it. It's good fun. It does set you up in good stead for life. You know, man management, your communication. There is so much out there. You know, I started refereeing at 14. I got to what is now known as the National League by the time I was 25. And you know, the rewards are great. I had a live TV game on Sky at the time, and it was great. There's lots of prestige. There is so much opportunity. It's a young man's game now. If you're at that sort of school-leaving age and you know you want to have a bit of fun and you're not the best footballer in the world, because I wasn't, then go for it, because you know you get to referee at some great grounds.
And now we'll have a look at the league tables and see where the teams are sitting so far. Premier Division, Redbridge A sitting top with Brady Maccabi second. Redbridge have won all of their games so far. Moving on to the First Division league table, Faithfold A sitting top with Los Blancos behind them. And the Second Division, Catford and Bromley top of the league with Bayern Minha in second place and Fairlop shortly behind them in third. And that's how the league table's looking so far this season. And for this week's Champagne Moment, a goalmouth scramble between Faithfold and Redbridge.
I don't know why you wanna treat me this way.
And that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining us, and a special thank you to Richard, our guest for today. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and tweet us using the hashtag WhenSundayComes. We'll see you next time.